I'm Georg Egger, and today's episode is all about
woke up, told myself to push and never stop. I've been stressed out, watching both these hands around the clock. With my eyes wide, trying to get the panorama shot. Whole world getting blurry to me, answers getting lost. So I watch my back and keep it moving to the front. And remember that the world's yours, do it how you want. You've been waiting here for too long, think it's time for you to move on. Realize that there's real lies in these real times to be strong.
I've been waiting all my life, and it was right before my eyes. Watching all this time slip by, now I realize. You know I've been waiting, 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 waiting. But will you wait for me?
Okay, I'm a mountain bike racer, cross-country racer from Bavaria. I live in Obergessertshausen. I got a brother who is also racing cross-country races, and yeah, a pretty cool dad, which enabled us to do professional racing. He always supported us in the former days. I'm 23 years old. I'm racing my second year in elite class now. My first year was last year, which was pretty successful. I got 9th at European Championship, 2nd at German Championships, which was a pretty close battle with Mani Fumic. Yeah, also the World Cups, they were very, very successful. Some of them were more like a learning experience. The World Cup in Neumesto was very successful because I got 22nd. That was also my best result in the World Cup season last year. I got some pics here which show me how it all started. The first pic, it's me jumping over a little jump, like looking like a completely hobby. The next one is me. I just threw my hands up in the air and just celebrating my first real mountain bike. And I think maybe 1 week after I got the bike, I did my first race, and as you can see in this picture, yeah, it was I won the race, but on the podium there are only girls, so I was the only guy on the podium who was a man. Yeah, but I won the race and I had a lot of fun, and then I decided I want to go on. I want to improve my riding skills, and here on the next pic you can see my brother and me. We are in the yellow jerseys. It was our first mountain bike, or first club. It was not a mountain bike club actually. It was a road cycling club. But that's where I did the first steps towards professional, or yeah, semi-professional racing. I got my first trainer who helped me a lot, and yeah, I did pretty big steps in my first real mountain bike season, because I got like second in a big race where all the German guys came to, and then yeah, that was the first step when I got to the bike junior team, and I raced 4 years for them, and now I'm actually in the Lexware mountain bike team. Yeah, last year, 2018, was a big season for me. It was my first year where I was racing with the big guys, with the elite guys. The years before, I was always racing under 23. I got, for example, 2nd at the World Cup in Albstadt in 2017, or in 2016, 4th at the World Championships in Neumesto. But last year was way different. It was a nice experience for me to compete with the big guys. It was always fun, but sometimes pretty tough. I always tried to do my very best, and it worked sometimes I overpaced a bit, but most of the time I was pretty successful. This was an overpacing example. It was the World Cup in La Bresse in France, where I started pretty cool and pretty fast, but at the mid of the race I exploded when I was on position 12, which was pretty good for a World Cup and for the first year as an elite rider. But yeah, then I exploded and I got maybe 35th, I don't know exactly. Anyway, There were better days last year. For example, this one. That's my dad and me. We are pretty good mates as well. Not only a dad-son relationship. It's sometimes like he's my biggest supporter, and I think he's a pretty important guy for me, because without him I would not be where I am now. Anyway, that's a pic from the European Champs in Glasgow in United Kingdom. For me it was my biggest success last year. I got 9th, and the position is not the very great thing on it. It was more the race feeling. I had a super nice flow in this race and I was extremely happy after the race, and that's for example the feeling what I am working for every day and why I always train hard, or as hard as I can. It's just to get this feeling, to be super happy and on the finish line, to be totally exhausted but extremely happy, and that's for me pure satisfaction for a mountain bike cyclist. It's pure happiness for me. Yeah, there was one really nice race in 2018 as well. It was the German Championships, where I battled a long time with Mani Fumic, and I nearly got the win, but I was a bit silly. I did a silly mistake and just missed the win by maybe half a second. But anyway, life goes on, and next year I will try it again to get the gold medal at German Championships. And one thing I want to change for 2019 as well is that I want to reduce the amount of races I'm doing, and I want to go to the race that I'm competing with more focus. So that will be the World Cups. I want to be super focused on these races to give maximum power, and I think it's possible to do top 10 in the World Cup race, and that's my main goal for 2019. Maybe I also want to get again top 10 in the European Championships, and for sure the World Championships in beginning of September are also a big goal for me. They are in Canada, and I love it to go to remote places where you don't come very often, and it's just a really great thing to race on places where some other guys have not been in their lives before. And yeah, it's also a big thing to travel around and compete everywhere around the world with your mates, with your friends. And it's also a nice thing in the mountain bike sport that maybe all the guys, they compete, they're like rivals in the race, but after the race they drink beers together, they have good fun, they party a lot. I can remember all the World Championships after parties, they were always great party, and yeah, it was so fucking crazy all the time. And yeah, I just loved not only the sport itself, I also like the people. I like them a lot, and yeah, I think mountain biking is like a complete thing. It's going all in racing, enjoying nature in the training, and also about connecting people together. For me, that's the perfect combination of many things, and they are all connected by only one thing, and that's mountain biking. That's why I got a big passion for it, and I really like it to ride my bike. When it comes to training, I really like it to keep the thing simple. I do 3 different types of training. The first thing is endurance training, then interval training and power training. Endurance training is all about doing long rides. Sometimes they are pretty easy, or most of the times they are pretty easy. It's the perfect opportunity to meet maybe friends and go with them for a ride, and you can do coffee stops and cake stops. That's no problem if you are doing endurance training. But you have to go for riding your bike a pretty long time. My endurance training is about 4 hours most time. Maybe it's sometimes 3 or sometimes 6, but in average maybe 4 hours. The goal of the endurance training is to get a base where you can sustain for the whole season, because the season is pretty long and you need always a good basement to build on with intervals or power training. If you don't have the base, I think the risk is pretty high to blow up maybe in the mid of the season or in the mid of the race. Yeah, so it's just the first thing you should do if you want to get a better cyclist. You have to build up endurance. Interval training is the next step. my intervals are between 30 seconds and sometimes 30 minutes. I do intervals in different variations. The short intervals I do on the mountain bike, and here it's pretty important to be ready for the interval, to go all out and to be ready for the pain in your legs. If you're ready to give it all, I think every interval training can be a big step to get faster. Most of the times I do hill repetitions where I sprint up the hill, and then sometimes, if it's possible, I go down on a tricky downhill to also improve my technical skills on the downhill at the same time. So it's a nice combination of going upwards pretty fast and then down again with all the technical stuff. That's pretty nice. And if I do longer intervals, I sometimes do them on the rollers in my cellar and going all out there. Yeah, or I just do motor pacing. I ride behind the motorbike of my dad, and he gives me the pace, and I just try to follow him and go full gas. It's also a nice variation of interval training. So you can see interval training is pretty various. You can do different variations. Most important thing is that you analyze your race performance and then look, do I need more the short stuff or more the longer stuff? And then you just have to do it and do it right, and that's the key to get faster with interval training. The next thing is the core training or the power training. If the core is pretty fit or pretty powerful, you can give your power from your legs better to the pedals. So if you got a good core, it's way more efficient to pedal. If you do core training, it's important to always vary your exercises, because there's not one exercise which makes you better. You need different exercises, to contract every muscle in your body. So you always have to vary the exercises. And I also like it to go out with my Nordic skis in conditions like today, like outside, it's snowy outside. So I just always grab my Nordic skis and go for a bit of skating. I also like to go for a run, just go outside. It's pretty simple. Just put your running shoes on and then go out, run. It's nice. Or also you can jump stairs to get more explosive power in your legs. Do a bit of everything. In wintertime it's the perfect time to build up more power and do some general athletic stuff. Was wir als nächstes machen? Den Bock her. Sorry. Hui. So. So, das muss ich mal erstmal beruhigen. So, was sollen wir jetzt nochmal sagen? Ich mach's nochmal einfach. For example, you have seen it already in the forecast, and as you saw, it's pretty small.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Bla bla, scheißegal. Fuck, was hab ich? Okay, nochmal. Very successful. I am Georg Egger. I'm from Obergeiselshausen, which is a pretty small village in Bavaria. Bavaria is in Germany.
Really, nigga?
Heute gut gemacht, Akquisition.
me rolling. They hating.
War dein Rücklicht.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Was? Ist im Arsch?
Ja, Plastik.
Och nee. Nicht schon wieder. Nicht schon wieder.
Ey. Och, fuck. Ich komm hier nie weg ohne
I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.